celebrations will only be marked in Kirinyaga County. Kibicho made the announcement on Friday after inspecting the preparations at the Wanguru Stadium, the venue for the event that will be led by President Uhuru Kenyatta.
The national government has frozen parallel Mashujaa Day celebration in counties. Through a press release that was released yesterday by the Ministry of Interior under the Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i, stated that Kirinyaga County will be the only county allowed to host the celebrations this year. The announcement was made by Interior Principal Secretary Karanja Kibicho, who was inspecting the ongoing preparations for the celebrations in Kirinyaga County, accompanied with Governor Anne Waiguru at Wanguru Stadium, the venue for the October 20th event.
This stadium, like I have said, is 10,000 plus capacity, but due to COVID restrictions, we will limit those numbers as we shall be advised by Ministry of Health. We will be inviting people here through the relevant leaders and through the County Commissioner's office to just fill that number. And what we are advising is that because this for that day will be the only celebration in the country, all the other county celebrations will be frozen because of COVID problems. We will be urging also that the people who will not be able to come to the stadium, the people who will not be coming to represent their various sectors, stay at home and watch these celebrations, which will be semi-virtual from home, so that we also don't escalate the spread of COVID.
The report says that Kirinyaga County will be the host of this year's Mashujaa Day. No celebrations will be held in other counties, as it has always been the case. The ministry stated that the reason as to why they are freezing similar activities in other counties is because they don't want to escalate the spread of the pandemic. In December 2015, Jubilee administration under President Uhuru Kenyatta allowed counties to host on a rotational basis Kenya's 3 national days. President Uhuru made the announcement after hosting governors at the State House in Nairobi for the 4th National and County Government Summit. The 3 national days that were to be hosted in different counties on a rotational basis include Madaraka Day, which is always celebrated on 1st June, Mashujaa Day, which is always celebrated on October 20th, and Jamhuri Day, that is always celebrated on December 12th. Kirinyaga will join Nakuru, Machakos, Meru, Nyeri, Kakamega, Mombasa, Narok and Kisii counties, which have already hosted the celebrations since the announcement was made. Kibicho, while issuing the statement in Kirinyaga County's preparedness to host the celebration, noted that Wanguru Stadium is almost 80% complete and will be delivered by October 5th alongside the County Commissioner's residence in Kerugoya, which will double up as a state lodge.
And as you can witness for yourself, there is a miracle that has happened here, and the transformation is unbelievable. We have the dais that has been extended now to cover quite a number of people. The infills that we had promised that will 10 more. You can see they are all up, and all the associated work here, development, improvement of the road network here around the stadium, works around the stadium, the field itself, the guard that is going around the field is all in progress and will be completed again by 5th October. So as a celebration committee, we are happy that the amount of money being put here by the national government to improve the infrastructure here is bearing fruit. We'll come back here on 5th so that we can now see, besides the infrastructure, the other part of the preparation that involves entertainment, parade and all that on 5th of March.
However, Karanja said that they are satisfied with the progress made so far. According to the brief that they have received from the construction team, they have never been closer to this level of preparation ahead of a national holiday. These and other infrastructure meant to facilitate this year's event will be ready by October 5th. Kibicho was accompanied by PSS from various ministries including Public Works PS Gordon Kihalangwa, Professor Paul Maringa of Infrastructure, Jorome Ochieng of ICT, Josfata Mukobe of Culture and Heritage, Esther Koimet of Broadcasting and Telecommunication, and Charles Hinga of Housing, as well as Deputy Head of Public Service Wanyama Musiambo. David Kasembeli, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
Now, thank you so much, David Kasembeli, for that report. Now, that report brings us to our first break here on Lookup TV. Don't go too far. We'll be back with more.
Did you know the world's top icons and legends who have made history are dyslexic? Dyslexia is a learning disorder that is characterized by difficulty in reading due to problems with identifying speech sounds and learning how they relate to letters and words. Dyslexia affects areas of the brain that process language. Symptoms include delayed speech, learning new words slowly, and a delay in reading. These legends made it, and so can your child.
Nairobi, are you ready? October is Dyslexia Awareness Month and the whole world will go red for dyslexia. Join us on 28th of October. Wear the red outfit as we light up the UAP on Mucho Red for dyslexia.
Where will you be watching the glow from? Does your child write B instead of D? Is your child phobic to the red pen due to the numerous X wrongs they get from teachers' marking pen? Do they refer to your child as a slow learner? Your child is simply dyslexic. To be part of the sponsor and for more information about dyslexia, kindly contact 0722 380 952. Let's go red for dyslexia.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile. And having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Please make those payments and take dinner out the freezer. Enjoy your day off.
Hey.
How was your day?
Great.
Did you pay the bills?
Abby did it.
And the plumber?
Abby did it.
Send money to your mom?
Abby did it.
Who's Abby?
Bank on WhatsApp with Abby, your 24/7 digital personal banker. Another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Did you take dinner out the freezer?
Want to grow your business? Broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries? Then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542
700 893 542
or email us on sales@look-up.tv. Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Lookup TV movement now. now.
Now, thank you so much for staying with us here on Look Up TV Trending News. Let's continue with this bulletin. Now, 14 members of parliament, drawn from both the National Assembly and the Senate, have been nominated to receive various presidential awards this year. Now, Parliament, in an advertisement in the newspapers, listed the 14 legislators and invited the public with any objection to present their views to the Joint Parliamentary Owners Advisory Committee, co-chaired by both the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Senate.
Top on the list include the new chairman of the National Assembly Security Committee, Peter Mwathi, who is also a member of the Liaison Committee. Mr. Mwathi, who is serving his first term and took over the powerful security docket following the demise of Paul Koinange, will be awarded Chief of the Order of the Burning Spear, CBS. Moiben MP Silas Thren has also been proposed by the committee to be awarded with the Chief of the Order of the Burning Spear, CBS. Other members of the National Assembly also proposed for award include Ezekiel Mashogu of Nyaribari Masaba, Muturi Kigano of Kangema, Swarup Mishara of Keses, Robert Mboi of Kadhiani, Janet Ongera of Kisii, Mishimboko of Likoni, and Ben Momanyi, who is member for Borabu. The senators lined up to receive the award of the CBS include Kericho Senator and DP Ruto ally Aaron Cheruiyot, Kimani Wamatangi of Kiambu, Fred Outa of Kisumu, and nominated Senators Alice Milgo and Beatrice Kwamboka. Deputy Clerk of the National Assembly Jeremiah Ndombi and his Senate counterpart Sarah Kioko have also been lined up for the award of the Elder of the Order of Burning Spear, EBS. Controller of Budget Margaret Nyakango has also been proposed for the award of Chief of the Order of Burning Spear, CBS. Members of the public who have objections to the proposed list of MPs receiving the coveted awards have until Friday, October 1st to send their objections to the Joint Secretariat, Parliamentary Honours and Advisory Committee. While there are no financial benefits that come with the awards, presidential awards come with a lot of privileges, such as being invited to national events where one attends as a state guest and therefore gets to sit at the high table. In addition, the awards also puts one at a vantage position of having roads, streets, towns, parks, or even institutions named after them. Order of the Golden Heart, which is further divided into 3 categories, is the highest category of the coveted presidential awards. The 3 categories include Chief of the Order of the Golden Heart of Kenya, CGH, Elder of the Order of the Golden Heart of Kenya, EGH, and Moran of the Order of the Golden Heart of Kenya, MGH. The Order of the Golden Heart Award is followed by Uhodari Medal, which is followed by the Order of the Burning Spear, which is also subdivided into 3 categories. The highest level of OBS is the Chief of the Order of the Burning Spear, CBS, followed by the Elder of the Order of the Burning Spear, EBS, and finally, Moran of the Order of the Burning Spear, MBS. Other awards include the Order of the Grand Warrior of Kenya, the Distinguished Conduct Order, the Distinguished Service Medal, the Service Star of Kenya, and Head of State's Commendation. Waris Kimathi, Look Up TV in Nairobi.
Now, thank you, Waris Kimathi, for that report. Now, moving on to a story that is a threat to our profession here. Now, 2 suspects who were posing as journalists were on Friday charged with giving false information and forging Media Council of Kenya accreditation cards. Now, this is according to the charge sheet, which showed that the 2 committed the offense on July 6th within Kenyatta International Conference Center, where they wanted to access a meeting that was organized by Transport Cabinet Secretary General David Kasili reports on that.
The 2, Thomas Ochieng Owino and Fred Odanga Ezelwa, were arraigned at Milimani Law Courts, where they were released on a cash bail of 50,000 Kenyan shillings or an alternative bond of 100,000 Kenyan shillings. They denied 3 accounts of forgery, giving false information and uttering a false document contrary to the law. The 2 were also charged before Senior Principal Magistrate David Ndungi with presenting a fake document and giving false information to a person employed in public service as a media relations officer at the Senate. According to the charge sheet, the two committed the offense on July 9th within Kenyatta International Conference Center KICC, where they wanted to access a meeting by Transport Cabinet Secretary James Mashujaa. On a separate date within Nairobi County, they are also accused of forged media council card with an intention to defraud, of which the matter will be mentioned on October 8th. The Media Council of Kenya has been cracking down fake journalists who have flooded the industry and operating with fake accreditation cards. The council started the exercise after it emerged that individuals posing as journalists extort money from news sources with a promise that they will air or publish the articles. David Kasembeli, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
Now, switching gears. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations has sounded a warning to the members of public against false rape allegations. The DCI warned that rape is a very serious offense that attracts a heavy penalty, including imprisonment. Now, the warning comes after a case of a woman who falsely accused her area chief of forcing himself on her.
Directorate of Criminal Investigation DCI have issued a warning to the member of the public against false rape allegations. A warning comes after a rise of false rape allegation where a woman only identified as Mercy is believed to have forcefully accused her area chief of forcing himself on her after her husband discovered that the two have been having an affair since August last month. In a case lodged at Londiani Police Station on Tuesday afternoon, a woman from Kimasian location who was accompanied by her husband alleged that the area chief had stormed in her homestead earlier in the day and ordered her out of the house into a nearby maize plantation where he raped her repeatedly. Detective launched immediate investigation into allegation against the local administrator who had since been detained. Londiani-based detective discovered Mercy and the chief and Edith been in a relationship for a period of time. They have been exchanging messages on SMS.
Now, moving on, 8 people have been killed. Rather, I'll take that again. 8 people have been killed in an explosion from a car bomb that targeted a government convoy in the Somali capital, Mogadishu. Now, 10 more were injured in the explosion that happened near the presidential palace in El Gab region, according to eyewitness reports.
According to the state broadcaster Somali National Television, a senior police official who was part of the targeted convoy, Fahran Korale, survived the attack. Al-Shabaab military operation spokesperson said the terrorist group was behind the attack. This comes weeks before start of delayed stage of elections in the troubled Horn of Africa country. Elsewhere, a day after senior Taliban official confirmed return of executions and amputations as punishment in Afghanistan, a man has been publicly executed in Herat and his body hung in Kabul's main square. The militant strong interpretation of Sharia law has been condemned by human rights campaigners and the international community. The Taliban government, which seized power last month, was also denied an opportunity to speak at the UN General Assembly this week. The group told United Nations officials that envoy for the ousted government do not represent Kabul in New York. And finally, the UN General Assembly will not be addressed by a Myanmar representative, according to the United Nations spokesperson Stefan Dujarric. This is after rival claims for the UN seat following the position of elected government by the country's military in February. The country's current UN ambassador, Kyo Mo-tun, appointed by Aung San Suu Kyi's elected government, was expected to address high-level talks of 193 member states on the final day of the gathering. However, diplomats from Russia, China, and the United States reached out an understanding for the ambassador to remain at the UN seat as long as he does not speak in the concluding assembly. Indakwa Were, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
Now, moving on, the Kenya Film and Classification Board this week banned the production of explicit content funded by foreign organizations with the aim of selling foreign ideologies, now that go against the Kenyan culture. Now, where do we draw the line between making a film and respecting the law? Is the law punitive to filmmakers when it comes to expressing their art? Now, we spoke to Samuel Luchemo, a film director and producer, on how the law cuts the creative industry and why, despite understanding the reasons behind the restrictions of production of certain contents, the industry still goes ahead to produce that content.
Recently, you're a film director, I believe a producer too. You are in the film industry, and recently the Film Classification Board just banned a documentary and restricted it from being aired in any media house, so just news outlets or media outlets. So then what does that mean? Because they say it goes against the Constitution. What does that mean, like in terms of production of films and documentaries here in the country? Do we follow the law? Do we go against the law?
Okay, so basing on that specific production, but first of all, basing on Kenya, Kenya is not yet, how can I say, we're not open-minded to certain things, which by law, by the Kenyan jurisdiction, is understandable. But when it comes to a creative, now other creatives need to speak out of something which is actually happening within the society. As much as we might ignore it and might think that it's not there, but it's actually there. So us as filmmakers just want to reflect, rather show the society this is what is happening and this is how it is. We should accept every person the way they are, whichever way. So when it comes to now filmmaking, of course, it limits certain things for us to embrace, or rather to speak about, because at the end of the day, you know that the law will come for you because of speaking out of something which is against the law. So usually, I would say, as a creative, I wish our laws would change to a certain extent and accommodate certain things that are already within the society. And then, but at the end of the day, all I can say is the law is supreme. So I don't like it personally as a creative. I wish it changes, but you know, there are certain things which it depends. It begins from the executive, especially when it comes to the Marriage Act. For ours, the penal code for Kenyan creatives, it's different. So, but when it comes to the law of now the Marriage Act, section 163, 65.
Now, we have come to the end of this bulletin today. Thank you so much for making time for us here on Lookup TV Trending News. My name is Brian Amwai, and on behalf of everybody that has made this bulletin a success, I want to thank you for watching. Have yourselves a lovely evening.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email to views@look-up.tv. We can't wait to hear from you. The following program is rated PG.